great day in foot racing came at Oxford, England on May 7th, 1954. A young English medical...
In the summer of 1954, Roger Bannister stood at the starting line with a goal that many believed was impossible: to run a mile in under 4 minutes. No one in recorded history had ever done it. Experts insisted the human body simply wasn't built for it. Even Bannister himself wasn't certain he would succeed. But he understood something most didn't. He knew that greatness isn't one massive leap. It's a series of barely noticeable strides, compounded with intention. When the race began, Bannister didn't sprint wildly. He paced himself, hitting tiny, incremental targets with every step. When he crossed the finish line at 3 minutes and 59.4 seconds, history was made. Not because he defied limits in a single moment, but because he respected the power of small, deliberate progress. In a world obsessed with quantum leaps and overnight success, we often underestimate the quiet, compounding force of tiny wins. Yet every breakthrough, every transformation, every towering success story is simply the result of one small action, repeated consistently, refined patiently, and multiplied relentlessly. This is the essence of the 1% habit, the practice of pursuing micro-wins so persistently that over time, they unlock macro-level success. In this session, we'll break down how it works and why mastering the art of getting just a little bit better every day changes everything. In a world obsessed with overnight success, the 1% habit moves differently. It doesn't chase headlines. It doesn't sprint toward a finish line. It builds, quietly, methodically, almost imperceptibly, until one day it becomes unstoppable. At its core, the 1% habit is about committing to microscopic improvements every day. Not 100% leaps, not grand reinventions, just a small, deliberate, measurable nudge forward, day after day after day. It sounds simple to the point of being dismissible. After all, how much difference can 1% really make? But that's the brilliance hidden inside it. The power of compounding. Improve by just 1% each day, and by the end of a year, you're not 365% better. You're over 37 times better. Not because of one heroic effort, but because small wins multiplied, then multiplied again. James Clear captured it perfectly. Habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. In financial terms, compounding is how a few dollars, wisely invested, can grow into a fortune over decades. In personal growth, the same law applies. Consistent micro-wins, patiently stacked, turn ordinary effort into extraordinary transformation. The 1% habit doesn't require genius, resources, or luck. It requires something rarer: faith in small beginnings. It's about trading the rush of dramatic progress for the slow, durable momentum of daily discipline. Because the truth is, success isn't a single act of brilliance. It's thousands of unseen, unfelt moments where you chose progress over perfection, direction over doubt. And one day, quietly, you become the person everyone else thinks just got lucky. Big goals inspire. They ignite the imagination. They make you dream bigger, stretch farther, envision a life beyond the familiar. But big goals have a hidden weakness. They're distant. And when progress feels invisible, motivation dies quietly. This is where micro-wins come in. They bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to be. They shrink the overwhelming into something tangible, something actionable, something you can actually finish today. Take an aspiring writer. The big goal? Write a best-selling novel. That's exciting, but it's also terrifying. It feels too large, too complex, too heavy to lift. But if the micro-win becomes, write 200 words today, suddenly, the impossible bends into the achievable. You win today. You win tomorrow. And 200 words at a time, a novel appears where nothing once existed.
Sometimes we'll have small wins along the way, small wins along the way. It's important that we recognize this small win as a big win.
Micro-wins matter because they create evidence. Evidence that you can start. Evidence that you can persist. Evidence that you're moving, even when it doesn't feel monumental. Every micro-win whispers a message to your subconscious. See? You can do this. Keep going. And over time, those whispers drown out the doubts, the fear, the temptation to quit. You stop needing willpower to push forward because momentum begins to pull you. Big goals set the destination. Micro-wins fuel the journey. One without the other is a dream without legs. But together, they become the quiet engine that builds an extraordinary life. One small, victorious day at a time. At first, a small win seems almost laughable. One push-up, one paragraph, one new connection. What difference could it possibly make? But that's the deception of small beginnings. They look insignificant until they aren't. Think about how compound interest works. You invest a little, it grows a little. At first, the growth is invisible, tiny percentages that barely move the needle. But stay consistent, and a tipping point arrives. Suddenly, the curve bends upward, almost vertical, creating results so massive, they seem to come out of nowhere. Consider Warren Buffett. Over 99% of his wealth was built after he turned 50. His brilliance wasn't in chasing get-rich-quick schemes. It was in mastering the art of patience and steady accumulation. He understood something most people ignore. Small, smart choices, compounded over time, outperform flashy, short-lived efforts. Habits work the same way. A tiny daily act, reading a page, making a call, practicing a skill, doesn't just add up. It multiplies. Each micro-win strengthens your identity. I'm the kind of person who follows through, and identity is where true, unstoppable momentum is born. James Clear, in his book Atomic Habits, put it beautifully. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. The more votes you cast, the more certain your victory becomes. Not through one giant, dramatic effort, but through quiet, persistent accumulation. Big leaps make headlines, tiny wins make legends. Because while the world celebrates moments of victory, greatness is forged far earlier. In the quiet hours where nobody's watching, when you're just trying to get 1% better than yesterday. Confidence isn't built from standing on podiums. It's built from keeping small promises to yourself when no one else is watching. Every micro-win sends a powerful message to your subconscious. I can trust myself. This trust compounds faster than skills, faster than knowledge. Because once you believe you can improve, you dare to take bigger risks, step into bigger arenas, and face bigger challenges. Look at how world-class athletes train. Champions like Serena Williams or Lionel Messi didn't become legends by practicing only when they felt inspired. They stacked tiny wins, an extra serve, an extra sprint, an extra shot, until their confidence wasn't arrogance, but certainty born from repetition. Small wins turn hesitation into habit. They transform fear into familiarity. Because the truth is, most people don't fail from lack of talent or opportunity. They fail from lack of belief. They never build enough internal evidence to trust themselves when it matters most. When you see yourself finishing small tasks, day after day, a new voice emerges inside. If I can do that, I can do more. If I keep going, something bigger will happen. And it does. Because confidence isn't at a lightning strike. It's a slow sunrise, built on the back of small, deliberate victories that nobody else notices. Until they can't ignore you anymore. Small wins don't happen by accident. They are engineered through systems, not just willpower. If you leave progress to chance, life's chaos will steal your energy before you even start. But when you design tiny, winnable targets into your day, success stops being a gamble and becomes inevitable. The first step is to set absurdly achievable goals. Not write a book, but write 50 words today. Not get ripped, but do 10 push-ups before breakfast. The goal isn't to impress anyone, it's to build momentum. Winning isn't about grandeur, it's about movement. The smaller the starting point, the harder it is to say no, and the easier it becomes to stack those tiny victories into bigger ones over time. Next, track your wins visibly. Progress you can't see is progress you'll forget. A journal, a wall calendar, a simple checklist. Anything that gives you visible proof that you're moving forward matters. Each mark you make, no matter how small, acts as a trophy for your brain. Visible progress transforms motivation from something you have to summon into something that naturally snowballs. Celebration matters just as much. When you hit a micro goal, reward the behavior immediately. Smile, fist pump, say yes out loud. It might feel silly at first, but this ritual wires your brain to associate small actions with emotional payoff. You're not just completing tasks, you're creating a chemistry of winning inside your mind. Above all, stay brutally consistent. Small wins lose their power if they're treated like a hobby. Momentum is a jealous force. It demands daily attention. Even the tiniest win counts, but only if it happens every day. Consistency turns tiny efforts into identity shifts. It's how you stop being someone who tries and start becoming someone who executes. It's how you stop waiting for motivation and start becoming the very definition of momentum. There's no magic here, only math. Small wins, multiplied daily, create an unstoppable force. One day, almost without realizing it, you'll look back and see that you're no longer chasing success. You're simply living it. Success isn't a leap. It's a slow, steady stacking of tiny, invisible victories. The world praises breakthroughs, but it forgets the years of quiet persistence that built them. The 1% habit isn't glamorous, it's not loud, it's not viral, but it is undefeated. Each small decision to start, to move, to try again lays a brick. And brick by brick, day by day, you build something unshakable. A life governed by action, not intention. A mind wired for progress, not perfection. A spirit too stubborn to quit. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. You just have to win the next inch. And then the next. And then the next. Because in the end, the people who move mountains are the ones who never stop moving pebbles.